Hello everyone, and welcome back to another stream on Infinite Rails. The one I did 2 days ago was a big laggy mess, but hopefully this one's going to go a bit better. So with that in mind, we've done our setup. We've got two things to talk about, and of course the one we're all excited about is signals. These were added in the last update. There's two parts to it. You have the detector blocks, which you can renumber, and you have the signal. And how this works is you will tell the train to detect certain blocks, and it will go to red if it detects in one and yellow if it detects in another. So in this case, it is looking for a train crossing over 1 to say it's inside the block, and crossing over 3 to say it's outside the block. And I'm gonna turn the volume on my music down a little bit, because it is overpowering to me. I'll turn it up a bit more for you. But of course I can talk all I want. Let's give this a practical demonstration. Hop in our engine. Fire it up. We'll hit the headlights. Kick the brakes off. Now if we pay attention... Oh, that's right, it's going the wrong way. Had the silly thing in reverse. Now if we pay attention... Once we cross this detector, this signal should go to red. And it does. Then we'll stop our train just past this signal. And if we go back and look at our starting signal, it is in fact yellow. It detected our train leaving this block and entering the next block. And now if we go one more signal, this one should go to yellow, and that one should go to green, because it does not detect the train in either block. And if we fly back, red, yellow, green. That is exactly what we want. Now, obviously, or at least hopefully obviously, I have placed these signals a lot closer together than you normally would. In fact, I've got like 6 signal blocks here in the space you might have one. And you'd probably have fewer. But this is just the quick setups that we can demonstrate. Now, before we go on, I think we need some cars for this engine. And we have some cars right over there. You know what we don't have? We don't have any track. And I think we need to fix that. So, actually, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pop into YouTube and edit the title of this. So let's stop again for a second. We need to figure out how to get there. Which isn't too hard. I mean, we'll just blow up some track and put down some more track. You know, the usual. But this is our chance to address something that's always bugged me. Ever since they added these industries, which admittedly wasn't that long ago, these switches are just too big. I mean, watch for a second. I'm gonna put down some track. I'm gonna put down a switch. I'm gonna put down a different switch. And we are already too far past. We cannot make this. It's just... That's ugly. Why would you do that? Well, the developers have heard our cries, and they have come up with a fix. And their fix is the small turnout. It is the exact... I'm told it is the same angle. It's just that this one doesn't extend so far. Oh, that also looks ugly. Well, that's okay. There's a way to fix that, too. Because it turns out, if you take two of these turnouts and you put them back to back like this, you are at the perfect offset. Just do that. Now, do we really need two turnouts? No, but we can then do this. And do this. And now we have a nice smooth curve. Beautiful, isn't it? Now, for safety's sake, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this end of the line. Just plop some extra track in. And that way we can run around the train at the station. And it does look like we have quite the train to pick up. Haven't actually used any of these tank cars on stream. Right now they don't have a purpose. Oh, well, you know, it might help if we finish building the track, wouldn't it? Alright, now, how about we go do something about this? Start up our engine again. Pick the brakes off. Drink some cocoa. Good stuff. Brakes are off. And let's go get some cars. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. I've been having a good day getting used to this new computer. In fairness to my old computer, it was free. I got it from work when they switched everyone over to laptops. That's a lot of brake squeal. And I mean, it served me well for about 3 years at work and 4 years at home, but it just doesn't like streaming this game. It was not meant to be that kind of computer. We gotta recharge all our cars. Okay, we got them all. So, with that in mind, let's head over to that big junction on the other side. Because we're gonna play around a bit with the signals. I'm gonna show you how I create a junction. I hope we have enough power for this, because that is actually a bit of a hill right here. And I don't know about you, but that game is really loud to me. New computer, so I probably just need to go reset volumes. Now watch this signal real quick. That one just went to yellow. Let's go see why. I know why, but you might not know why. So why is this one yellow? Well, if we take a look, this one isn't set up to detect red. This one only detects yellow when a train crosses this way, and it'll turn off if a train crosses this way. The reason I've done that is because this is all pretty much yard trackage. So instead of saying, hey, there's a train ahead of you, stop, you know, maybe it's in the siding. So instead, we're going to say, hey, there's a train ahead of you somewhere in this yard. You should be prepared to slow down. So we're going to set this one to 11. Oh, this one is already registered. Bummer. Okay, 12? Alright, so this is now 12. So now what's going to happen is that signal is going to watch, and if it detects the train crossing 11 or 12, it's going to say, hey, you're clear now. Which isn't strictly true, because we could be puttering around anywhere in this yard. It's kind of going to be annoying. So, search, 12, add. And we'll come back, in theory, once we cross 12, this is going to turn back, and it'll be green again. But if it doesn't detect us crossing out, it'll know that we're still in here. That's going to take our train a while. Just a thought, how much money do we have? Do we have enough to buy another? No. We're going to have to go make another delivery to get another engine. But I would like to test something now, actually. If I have one train enter this area and stop, and then another train enters the area and leaves, is it going to say the area is clear? I don't know. We're going to have to go make some deliveries and figure that out. Let's roll up to that next switch and then we'll go back and check the old signal. Alright, and if we go flying back, it is in fact green. Now I think honestly, oh, but this one is still yellow. That's interesting. Oh, because it also needs to it's gonna be stuck now because this one didn't detect our train leaving. I think, to be honest, we should probably just get rid of this one and have this one be yellow, so that'll consider this whole thing to be the yard. Might do that later. Probably not, though, and I'll explain why after this next piece. So we're gonna do a control point here. Let's shut this thing off for a bit, so we're not just burning fuel, and it's gonna be a little bit quieter. So we now want more detectors. We want one here. Here. I only have a partial idea of what I'm doing. I know the first part, but now I've added another part. So that's going to make things exciting. Well, actually, I guess we want one each direction. and I'm not 100% sure I'm doing this correctly, so to speak. I'm just kind of winging it, but it seems to work. Oh, except that didn't. Gotta delete you, because you need to face the other way. And I do think it's important to have these arrows facing each other. You could technically have them back to back instead of nose to nose, but I feel like it makes more sense to have them nose to nose. Yeah, okay, so let's go back to where we are. And we're gonna need to renumber a whole bunch of these now. We left off at 12. I think I'm gonna start a little higher here. So we're gonna make this 101. 102. 103. And at this point, I'm doing my signals a little more comprehensively than I'd really like. And we're going to go paired signals, and you'll see why in a second. The simple answer is one of these signals is going to be to go forward, and the other is going to diverge, and same here. See if I can remember how I do this. Problem is you can't tie them to the signal indications. So let's see. I want this one to pick up a train entering 102, 103, and yeah, we'll just start with that for now. And we want this one also to be 101 and 103. Actually, we want to know if it crosses 102 as well. And then we're going to make this 104. Make that 105. Six, 107, 108, and 109. And I guess 110? This could get interesting. I think I'm overdoing this actually. You know what? Let's go back. We're gonna ignore the crossover part for now. We're not gonna detect on the other track. I'm gonna need to think a bit more about that. So we're gonna get rid of these. I want you to detect a train on 101, 104, and I guess we also need 111? 111, 112, 114, 113, 115. See if I do this right. I almost need a diagram so I can map all of these. And then we want this one to detect 105 and 106. So this signal on the... You know what, we're going to make one other change. We're going to take this signal and we're going to drop it into the ground as far as it'll let us. We can't actually do stacked signals, but we can do that. So now this should go red when I'm in this block, and then yellow when I'm in the next one, and then green after that. And this signal isn't rigged to anything, so it's still good. Alright, we're out of the block. Fly back and look. Yep, it's yellow. Keep going. And we should be out. And once again, if we go look, it's now green. Okay, so I think I'm gonna make one change already. I think I want it to detect 108 and 109 for yellow instead of whatever this number was, 106. The reason being, I want those two to be the end of the signal block. I want to say, hey, you gotta watch out, there's something in this plant, but once it's clear, you can keep going. So it's still gonna be green, because it detected us leaving as promised. But if we go back, let's go back to that signal. And that's going to take a moment. I guess while we wait for it to come back, I'll just walk back and we can start setting up the other signal, which you might have noticed has been green this whole time. This time, the signal is going to be for the diverging route. So we still want to detect 101, 104, and 111. But then we also want yellow to be 112. And I think we want it to end at whatever this one was over here. Uh, 115. Alright, here comes our train back. And it should turn red once it hits that detector right there. Because these are bidirectional. It'll detect the train leaving this way, but also entering this way. Or no, other way around. It'll detect the train entering that way and leaving this way. Maybe that's what I said. Yep, there they go. That's good. We'll take it all the way back to the signal, and then we'll run through forwards again, and then we'll run the other way. Alright, let's go forwards. And then we'll stop and sit in this block. And once we've sat in this block, we'll go check the signals. we should see one yellow and one green. Let's fly back. And that's what we see. Good. And if we keep going past the... we should even be able to go through the crossover. And then it should detect us with the other color again. Go past. We are past the detector, and we should be all greens. Are we all greens? We are all greens. Excellent. Let's go back to the signals. And we'll go the other way. And just to check, we are... Alright, we're back to all reds. And now we should be green and yellow on our signals. Yes, we are. Now keep in mind, if a train were right behind us and it was following this, it would still slam into the back of us. The switch indication does nothing. It would be nice if you could make the switch indication do something. Maybe that'll come in the future. Again, this is still, you know, early access. We're actually going to keep going down this line. I want to drop this off at one of those sidings up here, and then we're going to take these flat cars and we're going to go get some wood. Now, something to note, the maker of Ashmore Crossings has stated that they are revamping this map. You might remember that I had to go place industries last time. The map maker plans to put them in pre-placed. So that's why I'm not trying to do a whole lot with this map now, because I don't want to just, like, start from scratch. Could be the map maker has something even better in mind. So we're just going to putter around a bit, get enough money, maybe try and get a second engine, and then we can go test some of those other signal questions I had. Yeah, so the plan is apparently to put the logging camp here, whereas I had it somewhere else. Let's stick the tank car right there. A little more. There we go. I feel like Heist would have fun working on signals in this game. Or maybe throw a fit, but I think he'd enjoy at least looking at how they do them. I know COS is doing signals, but I can't remember how. It would be interesting to see how this compares to what they're doing. Heist, of course, is also just, you know, a professional signal engineer. And that's why I think he'd be interested in it. Oh look, I'm on top. Hope we get stuff that uses these tank cars soon. I kind of want to do tank car trains, but I also want them to have a purpose. Bottle the air. Don't actually do this, folks. It's illegal. At least typically it is. Why did I lose my scroll? Why can't I scroll now? Well, we're about to go flying into the hillside. That's okay. Instant direction change. Yeah, I could see this being like a logging camp. Oh, shot back just a bit. I don't remember where we left all our passengers last time, or I would propose that. And you know, without consequences for running into things, it's really easy to do that. And yeah, we dumped the air when we uncoupled these, but we're getting it back. Yeah, I think this could be a fun spot for a logging camp. But I also like where I put it last time, so let's go back to that. And we are flying that as a downhill. Whee! Yeah, I need to think a bit more because we're about to cross into this path, but those signals are still going to be green. That simulator guy, I am doing pretty good. Still trying to figure out the best way to do signals on this game, but getting some ideas. And I got a new computer, so as you can tell, this stream is significantly less laggy than the last one. At least I hope you can tell. It would be nice if you could tell. I really ought to just take off the last stream, though. But yes, that simulator guy, I am doing well. I've kind of finished the demonstration part of the most recent stream for a bit. We're going to go move some cargo, and then we're going to hopefully buy another engine. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you can tell. I'm going to go buy another engine, and we will see about testing a couple more signal things. Oh, thank you as well, Alfred Perlman. Imagine what Rareiter is going to be like. once I figure out, get my mods on, well, I got the game re-downloaded and got my mods re-downloaded, and they're not working now. So I need to figure out what I did with my mods on my other computer to make them work. And no, I am not planning to start the next season of Railroader for a bit. I'm waiting for the MOW update, whenever that should come. And once again, we are on the Ashmore Crossings map, which again is slated to be upgraded, so I'm not doing anything more with it except playing with signals. Yeah, well, I mean, this game is actually updating about monthly. I think the last one was about a month ago. But yeah, Railroader, not sure what's going on there. I guess, you know, quality updates take time. And yeah, we want to go down. So past this switch, this way, this is all new build. I'm not actually sure I can fit all my cars on this track. On the tail for this. And I'm not sure this engine can pull them all up. So we are about to have a learning experience. No, I would say, bonk. It's a good thing there aren't any derailments in this game yet. Yeah, I don't think this is going to turn into Railroads Online again. For one, this developer, well, they're working kind of solo, but they are taking advice. They recently asked people to suggest assets that could be added to the game easily. You know, things that with Blender files already made. And that tells me they're listening to the community and they're willing to accept community assistance. And that's something that QMA did not do. QMA outright said, I don't care what you guys think, I'm doing what I want. And that's really what I think led to the downfall. But enough of that game. Let's talk about this game. How much do logs cost? That's a pretty good price. I would recommend, if you can find it, joining the Inifinite Rails Discord. You can get the game updates there. I think there's one probably going to come soon-ish, but I'm not sure. Don't make any promises on that. And yep. And now, because I've bought all these logs, in terms of money, we have no money. See if I can get the logo for this game as like a file with a transparency so that I can slap it on my thumbnails. A little better than just typing it out. And while we're loading, I would like it if the map could scroll out more, but that's kind of a minor thing. Let's go find the sawmill, see how much they'll pay for these logs, make sure it's actually worth the haul. Yeah, that's a pretty good price. Save. And now let's see if we can get our stuff over there. We're trying to get up to about 9,000 bucks so that we can buy another engine, and then I can go test a couple more signal things. Alright, full beans. Let's see if we can get up this thing. Okay, we made it up without issue. I don't know what I was worried about. And now we need brakes. Maybe not quite so much brakes, but we do need brakes. These are clearly not fully realistic brakes because you can change how much brake you have back and forth without a complete release. Which I don't mind. It may not be hyper realistic, but I don't mind. It makes the game easier to play. I am not familiar with that acronym, but I can look it up later, I guess. I'm guessing something, something, something for the fun something, something. Alright. Highball. Up. Oh, ha ha ha. Yes, yes. I don't know if I'd actually agree with that assertion because you can't actually send things off the rails. You might have noticed I hit the bumping post at high speed previously, and we did not go flying off the rails. I guess you could play a game with that as your motto. Just full send all the time. I was not trying to do that, though. This is kind of a pretty game, though. We got lakes, we got mountains, we got sand. Don't tell Anakin Skywalker. And we could have a day-night cycle, but I'm too lazy to implement it. There we go. Proper lights. Well, this is the Signals update. This is what you can play right now. I'm sure at some point there will be derailments, but probably not yet. Yeah. It does seem to consume a lot of CPU. That's why my old computer was not liking the streaming. But it's good. And you know, once they add some more assets, then you can flesh things out a bit more. It might be even better. know a lot of people have done assets, or have suggested assets for them to put in the game, like houses and such. And there's our destination. Ah, okay, I get you now. Station platform, which I wanted to figure out how to do a bridge like the map maker did. Haven't figured that out yet. And I built out an actual nice yard here, but we're not really going to use it. We'll just shove these in, unload them, and run around them. Thank you for watching that, Simulator Guy. Have a good time at work. Too much break. Let me out. Let me out. Let's run a couple. Man, the price for beams is pretty dang high. We'll start selling stuff as we get it. We'll want to check and make sure that we can actually sell those beams at a profit before we buy them. Price for log seems pretty good, though. Maybe not spectacular, but good enough. I am willing to sell at this price. Maybe we'll wait a second and see if it goes up. I think I've mentioned this in another game. I didn't. It would be nice if the price didn't fluctuate quite so often. I like the idea behind it. It means you have to think about where you're hauling things. But the problem is, you get there and the price has already changed. Not supposed to still be attached. Throw that, because we don't want to go out on the main line yet. run around and we'll knock back into those. Once again with the big turnout, again, I built this before they made the smaller turnouts. And yet, you know, it just feels right to have that going into a pond. I know it's not strictly necessary, but it feels right. Alright, and now that's going to recharge. Let's hop out, check the map. So we're buying for about 300. And if we go to our shop, we sell not that much more, but I think we'll be able to make enough profit to make it worthwhile. Let me out! That's a better price. Let's quick snap that up. Oh, we don't have enough money. Never mind. How much do we have? Oh wow, we burned up all our money on that. So we better make a profit on this. I'm gonna save the game again real quick. Point of no return. Alright, and now we will shove out of here. We'll need to change our lights once we get back to the main line. Now we want rear red and front white. Yes. Alright, away we go. I am glad they added these smaller wagons. I technically edited the file to get some of these in, but if I was trying to buy them the regular way, having smaller wagons and not having to save up so much, really helpful. Oh, wow. Big rock. Was that rock there before? I don't remember these big rocks. One thing I like about this game, the possibilities for going places really are infinite. I could have gone that way. I could have gone, well, maybe not that way, there's a lake there, but I could have gone that way. Could have skirted the lake. Now, once they add more industries and cities and all that, you will be a little more constrained, but I think it'll still be fun to see how the maps develop. Ought to make for a good thumbnail. We want to keep going this way. Yeah, I think once they update this map, one of the first sessions might just be... Maybe the first session is exploring the map, and the second session is figuring out how to signalize the whole thing. For the funsies. Probably we would make this a... you would just have it signal at the entrance, and it's yellow if there's a train, and red, and then green if it's empty. Nope, that's right. You cannot multi-track drift in this game. Sure, yep. So we'll come back on this track and then we can do our signals test. let's unload. Ugh, the sale price dropped. We're not going to make much money on this. But no, maybe you want it to not sell still. That's a little better. We'll sell one round. See if that price comes up a bit more. It is still higher than what we paid for it, but that's not much. Not by much. See if we can get a more favorable price shift. Nope, we did not. Alright, well we're gonna wait now, because I want it above 300. No, don't go down. Ah. You're not supposed to go down. You're supposed to go up. Maybe that's what we should be able to do. We should have the option to lock in a sale contract. So I think that is kind of like the ultimate plan. We'll do a couple more at this price. And then we'll see if we can get a little higher for the last two. But like lock in a sale at a certain price. And that way you don't get caught by the severe fluctuation on your long hauls. Because I don't think it actually matters how far you take your stuff anymore. Yeah, let's just sell the rest of it now. And I'm going to be lazy. We're just going to shove this thing back into the yard. Or back to the passenger station. I'm not going to run around. I know I added the crossovers for that purpose, but we're just going to shove these. We're just going to take this train and shove it. But we did get enough money for what we want, I think. Did we? Yes. Nope, we missed. Okay, we do need to be on the other track for what I'm about to do. Run through. That one is still yellow, interestingly. Must have it detecting this as well. Either that or it didn't like our shenanigans up there. I might have screwed something up there. Oh well, that's not the signal I'm worried about right now. So we're going to park our train on one of these tracks real quick. And and we'll do one more test with the signals. I am going to go take a look at the other one and see if I missed something in the troubleshooting. So you'll see it is yellow, and that's what we want it. Okay, yeah, that's how we want it too. Is it this one? Okay, I guess we do want both of these yellow for now. So the question is, if we now run a train through on the other track... oh no, I need to be in the shop. So now, if I run a train through the same circuit and have it go completely through, will the signal turn to green once this one is through, or will it still detect that there's another train in the block? In short, is there both a train counter or like an axle counter, or is it just a simple detection? Okay, that's red, that's how we want it. That one's still going to be yellow. Now we need to go all the way through to 12. And there's our detector. So we cross it, we stop. Are we still going to be yellow, or is it going to be green now? It is in fact still yellow. Okay, so that's good. So it detected that there is still a train in the block. Now we do need to cross that one, so let's head back to this train. We'll fire it back up and we'll take it out of the block and see if the signal goes back to green. Which means we're probably going to crash into the other engine, but oh well. These things are meant to be crashed into. And now we go back to the signal one more time. And it's green! This one's still yellow though. Heh. Well, we probably just have to find a way to reset it. But there you go! It can in fact detect multiple trains. Now, how we're supposed to do the big signals, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to think about that. And oh look, this is still yellow for some reason. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what happened there. Something didn't work, right? Oh, because it's detecting this, so it detected our train coming across, but it didn't detect it leaving. And I guess same for the other one, because it detected our train crossing this guy, but it didn't detect it leaving. Yeah, we're gonna have to think more about that. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed this stream. We're gonna call it here. I do like the general idea of the signal update. I think making complex junctions signalized could get kind of tricky. So we're gonna have to think about that. And it would be nice to have multi-headed signals. Or the ability to just place a single signal head instead of the full mast. But that can come in the future. For now, thank you all for watching, folks. We will see you in the next stream, which will probably be when they update this map. Until then, have a good night, and take care.